Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. The balance changes finally have arrived. Well, not in-game yet, but the announcement was just about an hour or two ago. And today I'm joined by BBXH, first time on the channel. I can't believe I'm saying that. Shame on me. How you doing, BBXH?
I'm doing well. Hi. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. I'm honored to be here.
I am honored to have you. Today we're going to discuss the balance changes and give our take on, how the game might change because of them, whether we like them, whether we don't like them, all that good stuff. So let's hop right into it. And we're going to start out with the Royal Ghost, which obviously got a nerf. We knew that was coming.
Oh, yeah.
It's the damage minus 6%. Invisibility delay has been moved, almost doubled from 0.7 seconds to 1.2 seconds. And the hit speed has also gone up just a hair at 1.8 from 1.7. So what do you think about that? I think that he got hit pretty decently. How do you feel about it?
I think it's much needed because, for a 3-cost card, he was pretty strong. And I think that invisibility factor that he has is probably what makes him powerful. Because, after he's done interacting with the troop, he pretty much immediately goes back invisible. So he can float all the way to your tower and then start swinging before your troops or your tower even interact with him. So I think that'll be a big change, delaying that invisibility.
Yeah, I find that especially annoying, and you kind of hit the nail on the head there. It's not so much that you can get to your tower when invisible and still get a shot off. Like, I'm okay with that. I just hate when, you're defending with whatever, like one of your troops dies, and then he goes invisible in less than a second right now.
Yes.
So, boom, all of a sudden he's back invisible and he's at your tower again. So, yeah, I'm happy with the nerf. I don't know. I'm going to have to see it in-game. Damage minus 6%, invisibility delay, and hit speed decrease. Honestly, though, my takeaway is that it was a solid nerf, but I still think he's going to be strong and viable. Do you agree with that?
I agree 100%.
Yeah. 3 elixir, right? So yeah. It's
cheap.
It's cheap, and I still think it's going to be preferable to Knight in a lot of decks out there. So, moving on, a buff to Zappies. Why don't you take the lead on this one?
All right, so Zappies, I think this is very much needed because I think across the board between ladder and in challenges, we don't ever see anybody use Zappies. So I think this is a much needed buff to them. The fact that they now hit flying, I feel like it's going to be so OP. You could easily use Zappies now as a support troop, tuck it behind a golem, a giant, or whatever tank or card that you want to. And I think they could do a lot of damage and kind of take out what your opponent's using to defend against it, which is going to be super strong in game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a big fan of this one. This one is something that I wanted as well. Like, this is how I wanted to fix Zappies, I think that a lot of people were calling for just a cost decrease, maybe to 3, or just a buff to the stats. I just love that they can attack air now. I feel like now they're on equal standing with like an E-Wiz. Not really, because they're still unique enough. But at 4 elixir cost, you just got to bring more to the table, in my opinion, than what they were. So I'm a big fan of the Zappies buff. Do you think they'll be actually meta now? Or? I
think it will, because I think Inferno Dragon is super powerful right now, and that's something that will quickly and easily shut down an Inferno Dragon.
Yeah, and you know what? I put out one video with Zappies, and it was almost like a novelty video because they're not really, they weren't good. But you saw the potential, though. You saw that they can. They can prevent. If you just have Zappies versus a giant in a lane right now, the giant doesn't even get a hit off. I think he might get 1 swing or 0 swings, but like they do a really good and annoying job at stopping troops. So hey, who knows? The next one is Hunter. Hunter also, it's a tweak, but it's also a buff. And he had his spread down from basically the range of the projectiles is still going to be the same at 6.5. But the spread of the projectiles, I don't know, I'm doing some funky hand motions over here. glad you can't see my video. The spread is, the spread has increased, decreased to 4 from 5. What do you think about Hunter, BB?
I think that's a smart choice. We do see him in some gameplay as it is, but of course the best part about him is the closer that he is to a troop, the more, or a tower, the more damage that he deals. And so now that that range is narrowed a little bit, he has the potential to do much more damage in one of his shots than before, because everything kind of spread out everywhere, and you might hit some stuff, you might hit others. So I think it'll be useful.
Yeah, me too. I actually think that this one might have been I don't know. It's small enough where, mistake is a strong word, but I'm not sure I'm hugely in favor of this one, only because I think that Hunter was actually pretty good already, even though the usage rates weren't super up there, but the win rates were up there, and I saw like a lot of pros in CR Worlds using him as well. So I think that this will make him even more viable. The one thing I like about the Hunter is that his bullets don't go through the target, like Executioner does. So
true.
that kind of mitigates his power. So I like this. I think it's a good move, although I do think the Hunter will be a pretty viable card now. Next card is the Night Witch. Initial bats spawn quicker. And also, we should probably just talk about the bats.
True.
Its speed increased from 1 to 1.1. So a nerf to bats and a buff to Night Witch. How do you feel about those?
I think it's an okay change. I didn't really foresee anything wrong with bats just because I feel like Zap just takes him out immediately. So I feel like it's an okay change. We'll see how it changes. I feel like this could potentially end up being kind of the Larry situation with the skeletons, where we go from 3 skeletons to 4 to 3 to 4. But I don't know. What do you think about it?
Well, a nerf to the bats, I think that was okay in my opinion, just because bait has you kind of hit the nail on the head with the zap working so well against them, but now it feels like everything has become zap bait to an extent,
True.
With Skeleton Barrel, with Inferno Dragon, with skeletons and everything like that, right? So, and bats, I feel like this makes sense to me. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the zap nerf, and I'm happy with the Night Witch buff. Basically, the Night Witch buff is just to make up for the bat nerf, to make Night Witch still viable, and I'm okay with that. So moving on, we have Lava Hound hit point plus 5%. What say you?
This is another one that I'm just not 100% sold on yet. I guess we'll see how it goes, because I think consistently Lava Hound or Lava Loon has been just a consistently strong deck archetype, and we don't see it super often right now in competitive gameplay, but I feel like that's kind of everybody's backup deck to use. So I think to increase that Lava Hound's, I don't know, his HP, we'll see. I have to wait, and I have to see how this one goes. I'm not sold on it yet.
Okay, all right. I like that. I like the negativity. Keep it up. That's rare from you, so I'm going to embrace it. So, no, but I'm going to disagree with you then slightly. But hey, maybe I'll have to eat crow later, which is not something that's unfamiliar with me. So I think that I like it because I feel like Lava Hound's in a weak spot right now, especially with Executioner not being touched at all, Tornado being so strong, Hunter getting a buff, Zappies now targeting air. You kind of see where I'm going. I feel like the odds are a little bit stacked against Lava Hound. As much as I hated when Lava Loon meta, what was it, a year ago, it felt like everybody was playing Lava Loon. As much as I hated that, we still have to acknowledge, in my opinion, that a lot of cards have been added that counter Lava Loon. So we'll see how it goes, but we'll revisit this one in the future. Goblin Hut received a nerf, spawn speed 4.9 from 5, basically reducing the total spawn 1 less spear goblin. Is that enough to make a difference?
I think perhaps it might be. This is obviously super popular right now, and I think it's been this card that players have been kind of sliding into a variety of deck archetypes, and it's one of those things that it's really not impossible to deal with. It's just a little bit annoying to deal with, so maybe taking out that 1 less spawn will make it just a little bit less annoying. I think this is another one that I have to kind of wait and see how it does in the gameplay, but I think it was a good choice on this one. I like this nerf. Okay,
I like the nerf too. I think that Goblin Hut, it's not that I feel bad in a way, because Goblin Hut just made its way on the scene again, right?
True.
Finally seeing some light, and then they're like, no. But at the same time, man, Goblin Hut's got it. Spawners, are got to be like one of the most annoying cards to go against, I feel. So, I guess I'm okay with it. It is a pretty small nerf, 1 less Spear Goblin. It still has a ton of HP, the Goblin Hut itself, so I'm okay, and I actually still think that Goblin Hut will be viable actually in the in the new meta. So I'm okay with it. Now we'll do these two at the same time, I guess. Mini PEKKA and Lumberjack both received plus 7% HP. Pretty sizable and maybe unexpected buff. What do you think about those?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I mean, I think it's fair that they both got the +7 because they're both just such similar cards. But I think we see them sometimes. They're not completely out of the meta. They're not super strong must-have in a deck right now. But I don't know. I think it'll be good to have them because then you have just a small glass cannon. He's a little bit stronger now, not so glassy. To take down some of these more annoying troops like Hog Rider or whatever it is. I think it'll be easier to deal with some of the deck archetypes that we're seeing now with these two.
Yeah, I'm all for it, I don't know if they necessarily needed it, but they're two pretty cool cards, and a rare card in mini P.E.K.K.A, that's for people who hate Hog Rider out there. It's a little bit of a help, I guess. I mean, not really. The DPS is still the same. I don't know. I think that I'm okay with it. I feel like in a weird way, you see mini P.E.K.K.A in Hog decks mostly, in some Golem decks. And you see Lumberjack in Golem decks, basically exclusively, and maybe Balloon decks. So I feel like those are actually archetypes that could probably use a little bit of help in the Balloon and the certainly the Golem beatdown decks right now. They're good, but I also think that Elixir Pump was a pretty solid nerf to it. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling here, but basically what I'm trying to say is I like the changes. I like the buffs to both those cards. I was kind of sort of hoping that Valkyrie would be included. Those 4 elixir cost, kind of ground targeting, tanky-ish, higher DPS troops, kind of like the hybrids. I kind of wish they all got buffed, but at the same time, Valkyrie did receive a buff on the last balance changes. So the last one is Mortar. The minimum range has been decreased to 3.5 from 4.5. They don't even call it a nerf or a buff. They call it a tweak. So what do you think about that?
I think I actually really like Mortar. When I was probably about a year ago or so, probably more than that, I really enjoyed playing the Mortar. It was one of my first deck archetypes that I really enjoyed. But I haven't played it lately. Yeah, but it's been on ladder a lot, and I think it's been an annoyance to a lot of people. A lot of people thinking that it's overpowered, especially when it's a level 13 card on ladder. So I think this nerf is much needed, and I think it won't take it completely out, but it'll just kind of, I don't know, mellow it out a little bit.
Yeah, I reached out to the balancing guy at Supercell just to kind of get clarification on this one, and he said, it's kind of a tweak in his mind. He said it makes it easier to distract the Mortar, but it also makes the Mortar behave more intuitively with long-range units, for example, the Executioner. So I don't know exactly what to make of that, but it does seem awfully like a nerf in my opinion. So we'll see. It's hard to say. I do think that Mortar was tough because I had Swoot on the channel talking about balance changes. I kind of agreed with him when he said that Mortar needed a nerf, not really thinking it through just because I hate going against Mortar, so it was like my bad on that. But now, the more I think about it, it is like a really popular free-to-play win condition, so it dominates ladder. It does all right at tournament level standard. I'm not so sure it needed a nerf, but this might not be too big of a nerf. I don't know. We'll have to see it in game, I feel like.
I agree, yes.
Yeah. Like a lot of these balance changes. So, that's the balance changes. That's it. And then we'll see you guys in like a month or so for a March update, a little bit more than that. Any final thoughts on maybe how the meta will change or how you're seeing this impacting the current meta right now?
That's a good question. I mean, I think we're definitely going to see the increased use. I think probably the most from the Lumberjack or the mini P.E.K.K.A. I just feel like you said it was kind of an unexpected buff, and you're kind of like, ooh, okay, I'll take this, and especially because I think Hog Rider is still prevalent right now, and that's a good way to deal with it. And Battle Ram is still out there, and I feel like mini P.E.K.K.A. is one that if you drop it, it'll shut it down completely. Lumberjack the same. So I think those are going to be the most popular. Lava Loon I think is going to come back in action as well.
Yeah, and you think about it too, is mini P.E.K.K.A. and Lumberjack can now really go mono with a real ghost better, after the nerf and then the buffs. So
yes, very true.
I think that you could be onto something here. I think that we might be seeing more beatdown, Golem, Lumberjack. You might be seeing more Lava Loon again. You might be seeing Zappies and Hunter, more Zappies and Hunter. And yeah, I think that's basically, I don't think there'll be any like seismic shift, but who knows, maybe at least like the annoying zap bait spawners that we see all the time, that will kind of be curbed. So that's kind of my takeaway as well. Guys, I just want to make sure that all of you know to go out there and check out BBXH's streams. And are you doing YouTube, or do you plan on doing it? You do. You have it because you did the Bren Chong interview.
Yes, I do have a YouTube. I don't post on there too often, but that is one of my resolutions for 2018.
Nice.
To post more.
All right, sounds good. And I definitely, I mentioned this to my subscribers the other day, but they should definitely check out that Bren Chong interview.
Yes.
You guys already know he's my YouTube partner, but he's also partnered up with BBXH, and she just did a fantastic interview with him. And yeah, you guys should honestly watch it if you have any business aspirations or you just want like life tips. How was it going to the Philippines?
It was amazing. It was beautiful weather there. Going to the beach at Boracay was beautiful. Awesome. And of course, it's always good to see Bren. And yeah, I think this video was great. And I mean, he's kind of opening his doors to people out there, and people have had so many questions about him, or, you know, I'm sure they reach out to you like they do me, you know, wanting to get in contact with him. So it's beautiful that he's opening his doors to do that for everybody out there.
He is like the most generous guy in the world.
I know.
And he does so much. But yeah, we could go on and on talking about Bren. But
true.
Yeah, it's just whatever. I watch the interview is what I'll say. But I guess that's going to do it for today, guys. I want to hear what you think of the balance changes. Make sure you leave a comment in the description, or in the description. Leave a comment in the description. Hack into my YouTube and do it, guys. I dare you. No, check out BBXH and Bren Chong in the description. Leave a comment in the comments section. I want to give a huge shout out to Shadow Clash Royale. He's my YouTube sponsor of the day. BBXH, any final words or thoughts?
I'm just very thankful to be on your channel. Thank you so much for inviting me to talk about these balance changes. I'm excited for them. I think it's always good to rattle things up a little bit so the game doesn't get stale. So I'm looking forward to them.
Me too. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye, Ash.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Really appreciate it. And as always, take care, guys.